Well, welcome back. Hey, in my kitchen. You got your shoes off. Take them shoes off. We're doing barefoot again. We always do barefoot in my kitchen. Today I'm going to make for you the easiest tomatillo salsa verde you ever tasted. And it's good. Um, what you need for your ingredients, you need 1.5 pounds of tomatillos. You're going to peel the paper, wrapping off of them, rinse them off real good. And then you need a 1/2 cup of chopped sweet onion. But in our house, we like the red onion. So I put red onion in mine, 1/2 cup. Then you want 2 peppers. You can do jalapenos. We love serranos. Serranos are smaller, a little skinnier, have a little different kind of heat, but it's really good. So we put those in there. 2 of these, chopped up really fine. Then you need 2 cloves of garlic. Now, I usually have fresh garlic in the house, but the last time I had fresh garlic, it went bad, and I said, I'm going to do it this way. So this is fresh. It's just in a jar, and it's already cut up. Couldn't get any better than that. You want 2 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic, great. But if you don't, and you keep garlic in your house the way I do, the minced, for 2 cloves of garlic, it's about a teaspoon. If you want it more garlicky, add more. 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. Cilantro is going to go in this. Now the cilantro, you really want to have fresh. A 1/2 cup. Now when you cut fresh cilantro for a 1/2 cup, it's a lot of cilantro that you're chopping up. And it does make this better, but I discovered that they do make cilantro leaves. Yes, they're dry, but, so you're thinking, well, a 1/2 cup, if a 1/2 cup is fresh, is this much, how do you know how much this is? You can do 1 of 2 things. You can try rehydrating it, or you can do like I do, it's 2 tablespoons. Basically, if you were to take a 1/2 cup of fresh chopped cilantro, it's going to be about 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. And of course, lime juice. It's going to have lime juice in it. That gives it a little tang, other than the heat from the peppers and the tomatillos. And the lime juice, you're going to use a tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. Now, we're going to roast the tomatillos. Now, there's 3 ways you can roast tomatillos. You can put them on a tray, put your broiler on in your oven, and hit that thing, broil it till you start seeing it getting brown on one side, you flip them, and then you broil the other side, and you take them out. You can do them on top of the stove, which is how I'm going to do it in an iron skillet. I got 1 of those. And I'm going to heat up this front burner. Every home, regardless of whether you're in the south or the north, I have come to the conclusion you need 1 of these, because there's so much you can do with it. One day I'm going to do my ribs for you using this. They fall apart, they melt in your mouth, because I cook them in this instead. When it's rainy out and you really want to barbecue them out, you want to smoke them out, and you can't, put them in the stove in this. Okay? So my iron skillet's going to go right on that burner. Normally people use vegetable oil. Me, not so much. I don't care for vegetable oil, canola oil, or anything like that. I want the good oils. Avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil. So I use olive oil. If I had the avocado oil, I'll use it. I think it's a little bit more expensive these days, but anyway, this is what you do. You do it on high heat, and you just want to coat the bottom. You don't want to whole lot, you just want to coat the bottom. And of course, if you don't know about skillet care, how to keep your skillet looking nice and coated like that, I'm just going to pour the excess back in here. That's because I didn't cook it yet. There's a little bit too much in there. But just enough on there. That's the part that roasts it. And then of course you can boil your tomatillos, but then they're not roasted, right? You don't get that cooked, roasted, browned kind of taste. So I don't suggest the boiling method to do it, but either the skillet, which is like my favorite thing, I need another cutting board, or no, I don't need a cutting board. I'm thinking about another recipe. I got a food processor out here to do the work, and so I'm heating the skillet up. I've got it on high heat, which means I got to turn that vent on, or else it'll smoke in the house and then the alarm goes off and all that good fun stuff. So I'm gonna roast the tomatillos first. If you're doing it in the skillet, yay! I would love to hear someone do this recipe and then comment to me that they did, how great it turned out. Then I'm going to roast those. Then once they're roasted, I'm going to roast, literally, put it in the pan, cook it, let it get a little brown, flip it over, cook it on the other side. You need 1.5 pounds of tomatillos, if I didn't mention that before. I can't remember if I said it or I didn't. So, just making sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, that's it. And while I'm doing that part, I can actually put into the food processor. You can use a blender. You don't have to have a food processor. I just happen to like the finer grind that a food processor does. There's some now that aren't really that expensive at all. So into that, without touching the peppers, the serranos, I'm going to stick those. Let me take these tomatillos off of here. I can just scoop it all into the food processor. That's the 2 serranos, chopped nice and fine. And I used a cup of the red onion. It got on the table, because I can't see what I'm doing. But we're not going to waste it. We still want that ½ cup onion in there. Table's clean. We'll put the onion in there. You ever seen any cooks on TV do this? They don't do that. They don't make a mess. How do they do that? How do they not make a mess? How can you not make a mess when you got stuff all chopped up and trying to pour it into a smaller thing? I don't get it. 2 cloves of garlic, equivalent for minced garlic is 1 teaspoon. But a heaping teaspoon, I should have clarified. 1 heaping teaspoon. Boom. That's that. And 2 tablespoons. If you're using the dried cilantro leaves, it's 2 tablespoons. If you're using fresh, it's a ½ cup. Chop it up real good. The more chopped up, the more flavor the cilantro gets into it. That's why I don't mind using the dried, because I know that once all of these juicy things hit it, it's going to just do the job really well. So there's 1. I tried to grow cilantro this year, and when it started to come up was at the end of the season, and then it just kind of like, died. We have a lot of critters outside, and I think they like to eat stuff that they're not supposed to. At least I say they're not supposed to. They still eat it. We don't have the deer problem anymore since I found out that rosemary keeps them out of my garden. Yay, rosemary! Now I have an herb that I can use for my dishes. Rosemary, chicken, roast beef. Yeah, that's what you use it for. Okay. Now my pan's just, oh, it's good and hot. Here we go. I'm going to do the tops first. Oh, don't you get that crazy on me now. Oh, gosh. Turn it down just a little bit. I don't want them to get super, super brown. Good. And I need to get one of those, one of those mitt things you put on the handle for a skillet. I don't have one of those. I need to get one. Actually, I can make one. That. One day, real soon. So as you can see, you can hear them sizzling like crazy. And 1.5 pounds just fits in there, perfect. You still have some wiggle room. I'm going to wiggle it around. And hello there. Good pair of tongs. And let's check them. Oh yeah. Over, it's golden brown on top, because it was on high, that's why. I'm going to do like this. Now what's interesting is some people will make tomatillo salsa verde without it being roasted, and will just boil the tomatillos to make them cook. That's all well and good, but you don't get that. Here I'm going to have a little bit of the olive oil taste, right? A little bit of the olive oil taste inside it. Plus the kind of singed burnt kind of flavor that makes it so good. I did not know I liked it roasted salsa more than regular salsa until this year. I never knew my taste buds really liked that.